And we're live. Hi, everybody. Susan Batchelder here. And on this Monday hangout for the race cycler, I have actually two special guests. It took me a few weeks to convince Kent to join me on a hangout, and I'm quite happy to have him on this hangout today. Thank you, Kent.
You're very welcome. It wasn't much convincing. You just had to show me how easy it was.
Exactly, yeah. It's a different medium, definitely a different medium. Hence, our topic today, I really wanted to talk to all of the audience, anybody that's watching this live or the recording afterwards, that relationship building is essentially how we will all move forward, how we will all build teams, whether we're selling things, whether we're building our team, whether we're teaching something or coaching something. Building relationships needs to be the core of doing it, and there's different strategies of how to do it, and I think that you should start from where you are and whatever you're comfortable with. I found this medium of Google Hangouts to work really well for me, so that's what I do. But I had never done a cycler before, so I kind of had to explore different avenues, and I was really finding that the phone calls and the conference calls where you could invite many people was working really well. And so I reached out and connected with Charles Hill, he was going to try to come on here today, and he was helping me just figure out that it's just a different way of thinking when you're doing that kind of call. And that's really why I wanted to bring Kent Brown on this hangout with me to just discuss that we can combine efforts and work together and use whatever strength is your strength and maybe overlap or teach each other how to get better at the things that we're not better at and just work together, building relationships. So that's kind of an introduction of why we're here. Do you want to speak on that, Kent?
Well, I'll tell you what we could do is, as we kind of go through this, and you tell me, what topics you want to try to cover or anything. I'm certainly not an expert on anything. I have just over the years of doing this, because it is my primary income and it's something that I was forced to do. I came from the real estate world, so I didn't have another option out there, And I think we all as individuals, we have to kind of reinvent ourselves and find out what works for us. And obviously there are things that work great for other people. Not to knock anybody, but there are a lot of people who they love to hide behind an email. They love to just, well, I'm just going to blast my email link out and just hope that somebody bites on it. It's kind of like casting out a hook into the water, but you have no bait on it, I get hit with a lot of things. I'm sure you do too, and Ruth, and many of you guys that are watching this. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that somebody doesn't send you something. It's the latest and greatest thing out there, and they're making tons of money or going to make tons of money. They're in pre-launch, and it's going to be the biggest thing out there. We all get those things. But like Susan was saying, building a relationship with somebody. I used to use this all the time in my trainings, and I've spoken to a lot of people, at conventions and things like that. I always used to ask people, are you married? Do you have a husband or wife? Have you got a boyfriend, girlfriend? Have you got a significant other in your life? How did you get them? How did you get them? You had to build a relationship with them, and in whatever capacity that was. Maybe it was a blind date. Maybe it was somebody you ran into at the gas station. Maybe a buddy of yours fixed you up. Whatever the case may be, you had to build that relationship. And when you're in something like this industry, network marketing, I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's network marketing. That's what we do here. We all go to work and we network with each other. But when you're building that relationship with somebody, I think so many people, they take the wrong approach here. It's all about you. I could never be that person who just says, sign up under me so I can make myself a lot of money. What can I do to help you out? And that, again, comes from building a relationship. And it may not be on that first initial contact. I can't tell you the number of times. In fact, I'm sitting here thinking through my mind right now of all the people that I've sponsored in the Race Cycler. And every single one of them, I'm just kind of thinking of the names, every single one of those are relationships that I have built over several years. Some of those go all the way back to my teenage years, the people that I brought in. Some of them are relationships that I've built through Facebook, through other companies that I was in, through somebody that I knew who knew somebody else, who got me introduced to somebody. But just like you said, Susan, you've got to build the relationship first. You can't just throw a link out there and expect somebody to sign up and get rich overnight. It just doesn't work that way. But building a relationship is easy. It's very simple. It's about caring about people, seeing what works for them, what they're looking for in life. We all have that magic number. mine, for example, I wanted to be debt-free. When I first got into this industry, my number was to be totally 100% debt-free, and I mean, owe no man nothing. I wanted to be able to wake up each day, go to bed each night, lay my pretty little head down, and just say, I don't owe a single dime to anybody. You know, and I was able to achieve that. It took me about 3.5 years to do it, but I did it. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of running up and down the road and up and down the East Coast and trainings and Super Saturdays. I mean, it was a real commitment. But guess what? 44 years old, I don't owe anybody anything. I get one bill each month, and that bill is a cell phone bill. That's the only bill that comes in, you know, other than your daily, monthly living expenses. And I'm not saying that to brag by any means. I just want everybody to know that it's achievable. I did that because I built relationships with people. I spent the time with people. I wanted to figure out, like Susan, for example, you know, what makes Susan tick? What is it she's looking for? You know, maybe she's just looking for an extra couple $1,000s a month. Maybe she's not looking for a total 100% debt-free. Maybe she just wants to pay the house off. Maybe she's got an outstanding credit card bill she wants to take care of. What is it that Susan's looking for? And I'm going to tailor my relationship as far as business approach around that hot button, as I call it. You know, everybody's got that hot button. Whatever that hot button is, that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to put together some goals, just like I'm sure you've done with your team, Susan, about how to achieve that. Some of those goals were small goals, little baby steps along the way. Oh, looks like George joined us. Or Charles, there you are, Charles. Yeah, that's my little 10 cents worth there, and we'll go a little bit further into some different topics if you want to tonight.
Thank you. And actually, you touched on exactly one of the things that I teach my team, and that's to find your why. So the hot button, that's your why. That's what you're aiming for. That's what drives you every day. And yeah, and that's mine. That's what drives me to work every day. I'm a single mom of 2 teenagers, so I want to provide a good life for them, and this is it. I do this full time, so the focus, like, you just go and go. You work towards the next relationship and the next.
Yep. And I want to talk about that why a little bit. You know, your why's got to be pretty strong, because if it's not, you're not going to do this. The industry, I should say. Now, Race Cycler, we can talk about Race Cycler separately. Race Cycler is about as simple as any company I've ever been involved with. I joke about this sometimes. It's almost like being in kindergarten or play school. I mean, it is so simple. If you're not making money here, either you were told wrong or you don't quite understand the program, because anybody can make money with Race Cycler. But you know, I don't have children, so I didn't have that why. I didn't have that drive. I didn't have that reason for providing for my family. My why, when I look back over it, 6 years ago, you know, coming from the real estate world, being on top of the world at one time in 2007, 2008, and then of course the economy come along and changed all of that. My why was I wanted to run so far away from broke that it could never find me again, and that was my drive. And I figured out how to make that work, how to talk with people, and how to teach them how to do the same thing. But we're all different. We all have different color hair. We all wear different color clothes. We drive different cars, live in different houses, live in different places. Some people like Mexican food. Some people can't stand Chinese food. Everybody's different, and there's no one size fits all. So you have to kind of tailor whatever company it is that you're working with, you know, whether it be Race Cycler or anything else you're involved with. You've got to tailor that to fit whatever that person's needs are, and kind of tailor it to fit their why, and make that a strong enough why that they'll continue to go out there and keep pushing forward.
I like that. Speaking of Race Cycler being simple, I've never been in a cycler before, and the reason why I joined is because it looked so simple. One-time purchase.
Yeah, it really is. When I first got introduced to the cycler world, now remember, I came from conventional network marketing. I've said this story many times. I won't elaborate on it tonight, but I came from a company where I had to, me personally, not my team, but me personally, I had to personally sponsor 24 new people every single month just to be able to get a paycheck. That was the minimum requirement, okay? There were many months that we did more than that. Again, not because I'm a superstar or anything. It's just because we had a good team of people, and I learned how to build, like we're talking about, relationships. When I was introduced to the cycler world, I actually had a friend of mine who actually was with that other company. He called me up one night. I was traveling from North Carolina back down to Florida, coming down 95, about 9:30 at night, I think it was. And he called me up, and he says, get this, guys. He said, I got something here, and this was his exact words. I'll never forget it. He said, I think we can make $250,000 here in the next 6 months. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, it's a cycler program. I said, what's the name of the company? And he said, well, I don't know yet. And I said, well, like everybody, I said, is there a website, some information, a video you can send me? He said, no, we don't have a website. We don't have any videos. There's no webinars or anything out right now. And I said, well, this is getting off to a real good start. I said, how do I get started here? He said, well, we don't have a credit card processor. He said, I've got a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. And he said, if you mail me a check, I can get you in. Well, obviously, you know, we pulled over at the next gas station. I mean, it's a true story. Pulled over at the next gas station. I write this guy a check, mail it off the next morning, and that's what got me started into the cycler world. Totally oblivious to how they work. I can remember my first couple of weeks, I was so angry and so mad. In fact, I wrote letters, guys. Again, true story. I wrote letters to the owners of the company telling them, this thing doesn't work. It's not cycling like it's supposed to. My people aren't following me. I mean, I was that guy, okay? So I understand when people get, you know, upset or frustrated because they don't understand how a cycler works. But when I started to figure out how it worked, then I started to apply myself and then started to build the teams, and then I started to duplicate it. And Susan, I've heard you say this many times to your team. It's all about that duplication process. Many people have heard me on a conference call, and others as well, saying it's very simple. This is what we do. We teach two people how to get two people, 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 how to get two people. And we just keep continuing that process. Let the cycler do what it's designed to do. You know, these computer, I joke with Susan all the time, I have no idea how this technology works and how you guys can even see me on the screen right now, but let the programmers do what they got paid to do, okay? They designed all of this. They put it all together. The system works. It works flawlessly. There's never been an issue with anything. It works exactly like it's supposed to. Our job is to go do what we're required to do. And if we go do that, the money will flow. Zig Ziglar said it best. You go help enough other people get what they want in life, and you can have anything you could ever dream of. I mean, it's just, that's the way it works. So I understand the frustration because I was the guy who got introduced to cyclists by kind of accident, and I figured out how they worked and the mechanics of it. The thing about Race Cycler is we got the best one out there. I mean, we've got so many things that we put into this thing and pulled all the bad out and left all the good in, that if a person just follows the steps, you can't not make money in this. I mean, that's just the way it's designed to do. So I love it. It's one of the best things I've ever seen out there.
Awesome. And I'm on the pay line of the Grand National Board.
Way to go. Congratulations. That's what it's not. You're supposed to be there.
Yes. I just want to take 1 second, Charles.
Hi, how are you?
First of all, I'm good. Nice to meet you. We've had long phone conversations.
Yeah, first time. I kind of like this little setup you have here.
Yes. And I have to apologize. The reason why you were delayed getting on was because I gave you the wrong link. So when I gave you the right link, that's how you got on here. So sorry about that.
I'm technologically savvy. I can push a button. I'm so impressed.
There you go. We'll see. Even if you are, because I am, and I should know, I've set up, I think I'm going towards about 500 Hangouts I've set up, and I gave you the wrong link. So we're all human, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to welcome you and make sure that we knew about that. And we actually have another guest coming on. I gave him the right link, so he'll be joining us shortly. Good. And it'll be a familiar face to Kent. It's Todd that's jumping on.
Oh, my buddy Todd up in Canada.
Yes.
Talking with him all day today.
Yeah. He didn't think this time would work, but then he sent a message. Can I get on? Sure.
Well, good.
I've actually watched him on YouTube a few times, so it would be nice to actually see him.
There we go. There we go. Charles, do you want to say anything to the conversation that we've been talking about? It's kind of the same conversation that you and I have actually been having since we've been talking, connecting the different mediums, the different strategies.
Yeah, it's kind of a conversation that brought you and I together.
Yeah.
Was being from two different worlds and finding each other in Race Cycler and seeing that there's a lot of benefit to working together and growing and teaching people, and you know what he just said about two people who get two people who get two people is the answer. It's the key. And everybody thinks that is so difficult, and if you think it's difficult, it's going to be difficult. If you want to build a relationship with somebody, you just talk to them. You talk to them about anything and everything, and then about what you do. And the way I approach the business is not that I try and sell anybody a product. I don't try and sell anybody an idea. What I sell them is the relationship and the team and how we all work together and how home-based businesses are really the way of the future. We all need to have that little extra income, that little bonus coming in that helps out, and if we're going to build it, why do it alone? Why not sit back and work with people that are willing to work with you, and you're going to grow and be successful. It's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, but if it was a flash in the pan or a get-rich-quick scheme, it wouldn't work. It would fail. So if it's something that has value, that means it has work. And with that work and the effort, you're gonna end up with something that's pretty positive. And you're gonna have some long-term friends. I've got some friends in this business that I've known for 30 years, and we talk about everything. We do everything together. So it's a good program and it's a good idea. And if you work the relationship and build it, it's just like a good marriage. It's going to last for a long time.
Awesome. I'm going to just premise to the audience how we started talking, so that it kind of shows the power of Race Cycler and how it actually works. Charles and I are not connected in the same direct lineage. We're in separate lines, but we ended up on the same board together. So he was trying to contact me, and I was trying to contact him. We kind of missed each other for a few days. So anyway, we got in touch with each other because we thought, if we're on the same board, let's connect, talk to each other, and help increase the momentum and move that together. So, and since then we've been working together, and he's helping me learn how to do presentations on the phone, and this is the first time he's joined the Hangout. So that's the power of Race Cycler.
Yeah, it's a great deal. And you know, Kent, when you put that little added bonus of putting the people's email on the boards, it was a very big benefit, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate the support we get from the company.
Yeah, that was actually huge. I'm a perfect example. Actually, I woke up this morning and my board had busted, and it busted because I was able to contact somebody on my board that I had no idea who they were, sent them an email and just said, "Hey, welcome to my board, and my name's Ken, and you know, whatever I can do to help you out." Lo and behold, the board gets busted. I'm rotating off back up into the Grand National board. The Grand National board that I went to, I landed in the 4th spot. That board busted immediately. And then my sponsor, you guys know how it works. My sponsor rolls off, and it's kind of just caused a chain reaction there, all because I was able to get in touch with somebody that was on my board. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, it's working well together, and it's turned out a really beneficial relationship between Susan and I, because we are going to combine efforts and help both of our teams.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think we just have one more position, and the board is going to bust, and we're just going to just like that, we're going to increase the momentum some more.
Then you get to do it again.
Yes.
It's been financially beneficial to Susan.
Yes. Winning.
Pays to be on the top.
Yes. You got to get me out of there so that you get the financial position.
Yeah, I was joking with Susan earlier about how we were brought together because she was in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said that myself a lot. People I've told them, I'm going to have to make you some money just to get you out of my way.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Whatever the perspective, as long as we're moving forward, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and if we can work together and through this media, and I have a conference call line that we're going to utilize quite extensively, and I do with my team, both on standard conference calls that the team uses, as well as making it available during the day for them just to bring their own clients to that particular line and use it as they want, and we'll jump in if they need us. If you give them the tools and you teach them how to build their relationships, this thing's going to go. There won't be any way to stop it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Awesome. And Ruth, would you like to? You're welcome to speak on the topic that we're talking about.
Can you hear me, Susan?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I definitely agree with what everybody on this panel is saying tonight. It's all about building relationships. You will not see me post very much. And I don't use tools or anything like that. I pick up the phone, I build a relationship, and I don't say that lightly. You know, I get to learn who I'm working with, what their background is, about their families, and I think that's very important. That's how I built my team for years. But as far as spamming, I don't like that too well. I don't do that. So I've been an offline marketer most of my life. So I've been in the industry for about 18 years, and we built some pretty good teams. So this is all kind of new to me, the online. So that's how I've done it. So I agree with everyone on the panel. And Kent, you're doing a great job. I appreciate your leadership. Um, excuse my voice. I stay on the phone pretty much 24/7. So, um, but yes, I definitely agree with talking to people and building relationships. So thank you, Susan.
Thank you. To be honest with you, I actually really appreciate all three of you joining me on this panel, because one of my frustrations, I was telling Kent earlier, I'm new to marketing. I just started 2.5 years ago. I was a critical care registered nurse, so I knew nothing about it. I couldn't sell an ice cube to a really thirsty person, or I don't even know what you say, but anyway. That's not my strength at all. And so diving straight into the online, I found myself often in circles or in conversations, and there was, just as you mentioned, Ruth, lots of spamming, and it's actually taught by some leaders. And I don't like any of that. I like the human connection. In fact, one of my big topics that I train on is humanizing the digital marketing arena. And so I guess that's why that's what brought me here to bring you guys on this panel, because it's something that's really important to me. When people can get lost in this digital online marketing arena and forget how important the relationship building is, whether you're just typing messages or whether you're doing a video hangout like this. It's really important to build that relationship, and it's forgotten too often. So I appreciate everything that you guys have to bring, and very much value it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and there's one thing about building a relationship marketing system. If you have people with integrity that are willing to help each other and put things out there in the way that they're supposed to be put out there, we're going to benefit the whole group of us. There's a lot of things going on in network marketing that I personally shy away from, because they don't show integrity to do things that way. And I think if we teach everybody to do things properly and correctly, then we're going to build up not only the company and our businesses, but we're going to build up the reputation of this type of business. And if you take a look at it, I mean, all businesses are structured pretty much the way these are. They're just more directed and more concentrated in a smaller arena. And I think if we can keep the integrity level up and teach people to do it right, and not to coerce people and lead people down the wrong path, I think it will benefit all of us.
I agree. Do you guys have anything else to say, or should I gather it all and close this out?
You know, so there is one thing that and Charles just actually got me to think about this. When you're building that relationship with people, this is probably one of the biggest things that helped me over the years of building my teams and my businesses, the things that I've done. You've got to create and have and pitch something that people want. I love what Charles just said right there. He never pitches the products, and neither do I. We've got some great products, but I've never sat down, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what we have in our back office, you know, for $230 here, just look at what all you get. I've never, ever done that. In fact, I've signed up one just this morning. 29 people that I personally sponsored, and I cannot think of one that I ever went through the products with. I just simply tried to create an atmosphere, and it takes a skill level, and it takes, you know, some training and learning how to do it, but to create an environment that they want. You know, when people come up to you and they say, you know, my gosh, you're always so happy. Everything. In fact, I had one lady who told me this one time. She says, I can't even stand to look at your Facebook page because all you ever do is just put happy stuff on there. Well, I'm a happy person, you know, and when you start to create things that people want, it always fascinates me that, you know, the guy out there who's saying, my board's stalled, my board's not moving, I can't find anybody to join, I spent $230, I've already asked 30 people and everybody's told me no. Hey, you want to join my team? No, nobody wants to join your team. I don't want to join your team, It's all about creating a positive atmosphere, which, obviously all of you guys are doing, and creating something that people want. And when you have something that people want, price is not an issue. Effort involved is not an issue. They're going to knock down walls and jump over fences to get to whatever it is that you have. It's just a matter of, are you creating that atmosphere or that environment that people would want to follow and be a part of. So that's one of the things that I've done. For me, it's never, ever been about the product. It's never, and I've done a lot of things. I've done the vitamins and lotions and potions and pills and internet service and dish TV and cell phone service, and I've done it all, A lot of us have. But it's never about the product. It was about creating the environment that people wanted to be a part of. Just like Charles was saying, even within your own teams, creating something that your team wants to stick with. It's really easy when you have, imagine Susan, if she had sent me an email link, and for whatever reason, I clicked on it, decided to sign up, and then all of a sudden got frustrated. It's real easy for me to walk away because I don't know Susan. Susan doesn't know me. We don't have a relationship or anything built. But it's a little more difficult, and I might hang in there a little bit longer if I actually know Susan. And we do have a relationship, and she's got my phone number, and she's got my email address, and she gets in contact and stays in contact with me, and says, hey, just checking on you. It's been a couple of days since we talked. Just want to see how things are going. It's not so easy for me just to walk away, and then she can work with me as a leader and start motivating and building a team that way. And when you do that, guys, I'm proof. I am living proof. I am just a young redneck country boy from North Carolina who barely made it out of high school. I am living proof that if you just apply those things, the world is your oyster. The sky is the limit, and you can go achieve anything that you want to do. I really, truly believe that. And it's a great life to live, I can tell you that.
Are you still in North Carolina?
No, I actually moved down to Florida now. Actually, I am the youngest resident of the Villages, which is a retirement village down in Florida right now.
There you go. Now I'm on my way to North Carolina. My son's wife is going to have a baby tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
They're here tonight to head for Jacksonville. He's over at Camp Lejeune, so.
Yeah.
Boy.
I grew up in a little small town in Kernersville.
Lots of fishing.
Yeah.
I'm still absorbing that conversation. That was some golden nuggets there.
It's simple. It really is that simple. And I know, Susan, I'm talking. If you want me to shut up, just tell me to shut up. But I've just been doing this so long, and I have seen so many people that have literally been set free. And I'm talking about free. I'm talking about freedom. I'm talking about waking up when you get done sleeping. Get this, guys. The other day I slept till 11:30. I've never slept that late before. But that's freedom, because I don't understand why people wake up to an alarm clock every day when they don't have to. I don't understand why they get in bumper-to-bumper traffic every single day to go work for somebody else to make their dreams come true while you're still dreaming about yours that may never happen if you continue to do it that way. I don't understand why people do that. I understand there's a need for that. Obviously, guys, we've all got bills. We've got families to raise. We've got things that show up. You can't just pay the bills on an opportunity. Obviously, you got to have an income. You got to make money. But understand, jobs, J-O-B, just over broke. That's not designed as a permanent fix. That's designed to keep you just over broke. So use that as a tool until you get the skill set, or until you get the teams, or until you get your momentum running with your business, whatever that may be. Whether it be race cycler, selling makeup, eyeshadow, juice drinks, whatever. Just use it as a temporary measure. And I promise you it can happen, guys. But it takes the dedication. It takes a commitment level that a lot of people, truly, and I can say this honestly, a lot of people, they just don't have it. They just, for whatever reason, like we were talking earlier, your why is just not big enough. Maybe your why when you decided to get started here was you wanted to pay off the motorcycle that you still owed $1,300 on. That ain't quite big enough. Maybe it needs to be a little bit bigger. Everybody's at a different place in their life, and when you find that person and you've got that relationship built, and you find what you're looking for. Take Kay, for example. She's my better half. You guys have all heard from her on conference calls. I couldn't drive her away from this industry with a stick. I mean, she is so into this, and she's set free too. But she does this because she likes to see other people achieve the exact same thing. I can't tell you the number of times that she, just like you're doing right now, Susan, has helped people from other teams and other companies. Get that. That she doesn't make a dime of because she believes in this industry, just like I do, and all of us that are talking on this Google Hangout tonight. I think that's what this is called, is a Google Hangout. But the technology and the things and the tools that we have now, guys. I mean, and I'm not old school. You know, I just remember dragging. I remember I had a laptop, I had a projector, I had a screen, I had extension cords, I had a clicker, I had all these things that I was dragging around, doing these hotel meetings, spending $200 a night, hoping and praying that somebody was going to show up. You know, and most times nobody ever did. Spending every single dollar that I was making trying to get something running. We ain't got to do that no more. I mean, Susan's sitting in the comfort of her home. I'm in my home. All these other guys are in their home. We're all talking to each other on a Google Hangout. You don't even have to leave the house now. And this doesn't even cost a dime to do. I mean, you can't make it no more simpler than that right there. So that's what I love about this. I think we're at a plateau and a place in time in technology, history, and this industry that I think literally will go down in history book. I really do. I think that there will be books written about this. You know, there's a great book out there in my first year in network marketing. This is a game changer. It truly is. Internet's changed it all. You guys know that. Facebook has changed it all. Google Hangouts have changed it all. And it's just so much simpler and easier to do now. So why in the world wouldn't you want to be set free and jump into this industry, especially with Race Cycler? I know we haven't talked much about Race Cycler tonight, but you know, it really doesn't matter what the company is. Race Cycler is just a vehicle to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, but it's a perfect example of what we were just talking about. That's how you build relationships. We don't even mention Race Cycler, and yet here we are together. I'm impressed you're actually here. And
I love this.
Yeah.
So if we gathered all of that, if we could take a step back for the people that kind of get lost with all this incredible technology and forget about the relationship buildings. In the beginning, Kent, you mentioned that button, their hot button, which we related to is their why. And then setting goals from that. So one of the first things that we should be doing when we're getting to know a new prospect and building a new relationship is figure out what their why or their hot button is, right?
Yep, absolutely. I remember when I first got introduced to this industry, my real estate company had just tanked. The industry or the economy took all of that away. I had nothing to fall back on. I had no savings. Nobody ever saves up enough money. I had no college education to go back to. I wasn't good at anything. I couldn't fix cars. I didn't know how to landscape. The only thing I ever knew how to do was develop neighborhoods and build homes. And when people stopped buying homes, where I was at in my particular geographical region of the world, I didn't have anything else. And a friend of mine, my plumber, it was actually the plumber who was plumbing my houses, asked me over to his mom's house on October the 29th of 2008 or something like that. Anyway, he called me over and he says, look, I got something that I want you to look at. And the lady, I'm not going to mention the company name, but the lady who did the presentation that night, her country accent was about 10 times worse than I was. And she actually had made about $16,000 in the first 6 months. I was impressed. And I said, and this is what I thought to myself. Again, I'm not bragging at all, but I said, if that little girl could do it, I know that I can do it. My reason for doing that was not because I was trying to pay off a credit card. I wasn't trying to pay off the house. I was trying to eat tomorrow. And my plumber friend who actually told me about this didn't know that. That was my why in the beginning. Now, once I was able to get over that hurdle and kind of stack up a little bit of cash, my why became differently. My why was not about, I don't want to eat a Pop-Tart tomorrow. I'd like to have a nice meal. My why then became, I don't want to ever have to eat another Pop-Tart again. I don't want ramen noodles anymore. I want to be able to achieve financial freedom, live debt-free, and live a life that, and guys, oh, you're going to get me on my soapbox tonight, Susan, I'm telling you. People need to understand that they're put here on earth not to go and work for an hourly wage. That's not why you're here. You're here to live a life of freedom, and you can do that. Whether, again, it be with Race Cycler or another, the industry can do that for you. You have to be willing to apply yourself and learn. And that's another key step. A lot of people, they simply don't want to take the time to learn. I guess for me, I started my own company when I was 24 years old. It was back in the 1990s, whatever. I started my own company when I was 24. I did work by the hourly wage. I grew up on a tobacco farm. That's what I did. Age 13, 14, I started working odd jobs, and by 16, I think I had 18 jobs by the time I was 21. For whatever reason, I just wasn't the guy that could punch a time clock. I just couldn't do it. I didn't understand it. I learned early on that I didn't want to do that. But I think as adults, as people go through life, especially when you've done that for 30 or 40 years, and that's all you've ever known, for somebody to come and sit down with you and say, I have something that's different, and it does not require you doing what you've been doing for the last 35, 40, 45 years or whatever. It's hard for people like that because that's all they know. That's all they've been trained to do. And guys, if you don't believe it, I urge you tomorrow, if you're able to take a day off, go sit on a bridge over a major interstate and just watch. 8 o'clock every morning, you'll see those same cars going to the same place that they can't stand to go to, and go back to that same bridge and watch the overpass. At 5:30, you'll see those same cars racing back home to go to the same house that they've been forced to leave to go work at a job to pay for the house that they can't live in. It's so backwards thinking. It doesn't have to be that way. And I'm going to stop, Susan, because I'll get to just preaching, and I don't want to do that. But I get so passionate about it. I really do, because we have the tools to do this on a $230 one-time purchase. I mean, guys, when I was in real estate, I was borrowing hundreds, if not millions of dollars, hoping and praying that somebody was going to come buy whatever it was I was building. I can remember sitting in banks and signing loan documents, thinking to myself, there is no way that I could ever pay this loan back. It is absolutely impossible. I can't come up with enough money to do this. But I'd still sign the paper. There's people still to this day that will spend 30 minutes signing loan documents to go into a 30-year mortgage that they're going to pay interest on and end up paying 5 times what they ended up purchasing the house for. And I don't understand why people do that, because for $230 here, you don't have to do that anymore. $230 purchase, go out and share it with a couple of people and teach them how to duplicate, set yourself free. I mean, that's all there is to it. Now I don't know what I'm going to talk about on my conference call tonight, Susan.
You can say it all over again, I guess. It's a different audience. I guess I hit your hot button.
Yeah, that's my hot button. That is for sure. Because, well, I'm going to be quiet, because I'll go on for hours, and I don't want to do that.
No, but people ought to listen to that and learn a little bit about what you're saying, because what I'm hearing isn't really the words, it's the attitude of life. And
absolutely.
I'm an old helicopter pilot, so attitude is everything. You know, you tilt the rotor forward, you go forward. You tilt the rotors back, you go the other way. Right. And all those guys on the freeway going back and forth every day don't have any clue in their mind that they can do something else. They're afraid of it. Mm-hmm. So probably the first step that I work with people on is how to get out of that mindset, how to break that and see that there is actually something out there that can not only supplement them but take them to a point that they can set themselves free. So it's a good thing. I like your attitude.
Charles, I think you hit it right there. There is that fear factor, because there's not a single. I'll give you an example. If I were to come, and for all of you guys watching, if I were to go to Charles and say, Charles, if you give me $230, I'm going to pay off your house, your credit cards, all of your auto loans, any outstanding college loan debts that you have. In fact, you're never going to have to go to work again. But I need you to give me $230. Of course, Charles is going to do that, you know. Or I could say, Susan, you give me $230. I actually know what the winning lottery number tickets are. I know what that number is, and for $230, I'm going to give that to you. Of course, she's going to give it to you. But it's that fear factor that so many people have, and it's fear of a lot of things. It's fear of, I don't think I can do this. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't understand how this works. I don't understand how to explain this product to somebody. I don't understand how a Google Hangout works. You know, I don't know how a Google Hangout works. Susan does. That's all I need to know. You send me a link, I click a link, and I jump on. But there is that fear factor that I think a lot of people have. Some of it comes from just being in that mindset and that training of years and years and years of doing what they've done. Some people just get stuck in that rut. Some people get on what I like to call the financial treadmill. You can run as hard as you want to go, but the income that you're making from the hourly wage job or that salary is dictating the lifestyle that you live. And if you don't believe it, just look at your bills. I mean, if you're a $60,000 a year earner, guess what? You got a $60,000 a year lifestyle. If you're a $500,000 a year earner, you got a $500,000 a year lifestyle. And you can determine that and write your own paycheck. That's what I've always loved about this industry, is you can literally write your own paycheck. Whatever. I encourage everybody on my team to actually, we have checks that we actually give people. And we tell them, you write what number you need and what number you want in that box, and we're going to teach you how to go out there and do it. And just a little training tip there of something that we do. But you're right, Charles. There's that big fear factor that a lot of people have, and it's a hurdle that you have to help people to get over.
Yeah, you kind of have to reverse their thinking. Most people are afraid to go talk to 10 people. But if you convince them that by talking to each one brings you closer to a goal at the end, then it's a different philosophy. It's a different point of view, and they'll actually realize it's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the closer you are to getting paid.
It is. It's a numbers game. I'm glad you mentioned that. I could tell somebody, I could tell Ruth on here, I could say, look, you got to go talk to 10 people today. One of those people, I'm not going to tell you which one, but one of those people is going to give you a check for $10,000. And it's good. You can go cash and it's your money. But you have to go talk to all 10 people. What do you think she's going to do? She's going to be on the phone immediately. Hey, you got the $10,000 check? If not, I'm going to the next person. And she's going to keep on going through. It's just like what you said, Charles. It's a numbers game. And the good thing about Race Cycler is, guess how many you need? 2. You need 2. 2 people. Everybody knows 2 people.
That's true.
And one of the things I use to help people get past the fear, whether it's talking to that first person or doing something technical or whatever, is encouraging them to just start from where they are. Mm-hmm. So, for example, your first Google Hangout, just start from where you are, click this link and get on. Next thing, you might want to host your own Google Hangout. And if you do, then you start from there and learn how to set it up. Or doing a conference call. Start from where you are. I had no clue that I could even host my own conference calls or what to do. So I started from where I was, and I'm listening to Charles do his presentations, and then I'm going to do my own. So it's bite-sized pieces, like one step at a time.
Yeah, and Susan, I'm going to give you some kudos because, and everybody needs to know this. Susan actually asked me to be on a Google Hangout about, a couple of weeks ago, something like that?
3 weeks ago.
And I remember my response back. I said, Susan, I don't do the Google Hangout. I didn't even know what you called it at the time. I said, I don't do the Google Hangouts. I don't understand how they worked. I don't know how to log on or set it up, or whatever it was I said. And I just kind of blew it off like, I don't understand this. But here's what Susan did. Guys, you can learn from this. She actually got back in touch with me. She said, if I can make this easy for you, all you have to do is click a link and just look at your computer screen. Would you be willing to jump on? I said, well, now, if you can make it that easy, yeah, I'll do that. Guess what, guys? She answered all of my fears. She took care of every excuse that I had for not doing a Google Hangout, and she really did make it that easy. In fact, this has been the easiest one that I've ever done. She sent me a link, I clicked on it, and here we are talking. She answered my issues, and that's, again, goes back to building relationships with people. When you do that for people, you take that fear out, guess what, guys? You just got you another sign-up. Got you another referral, another enrollee, and you just one more person closer to getting to the Grand National Board on the pay line.
Yeah, exactly. And the other side of that coin was I made a goal. I had a goal that I was going to get Kent Brown on my Hangout. And I didn't stop until I have Kent Brown on my Hangout. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. But we got to have you working on some bigger goals than that.
Well, that's just like one of them. But you
good.
set a goal, and you don't stop until you achieve that goal. And then you work on the next goal, right?
Yeah. And again, you were talking about conference calls earlier. There's a lot of teams that are doing their own conference calls. There's a lot of teams that are not doing their own conference calls, and I'll tell you the reason why. Well, I don't have enough people on my team. I've only got 3 people. What 3 people want to listen to me? I was the same way. When I first started, guess how many people I enrolled? 1. I started with 1 person. Then I went to another one. Then I went to another one. Then I went to another one. And before you know it, you got you a group of people that's listening to your message. And those are very easy to do. I think Charles has already mentioned it. Freeconferencing.com. Set you up a conference call line. Doesn't cost you a single thing. And once a week, hold you a little team conference call, even if it's only 15 minutes. Announce some recognition to some people. If Charles was on my team, I might say, hey, congratulations to Charles. He's on the Grand National Board. Hey, congratulations to Susan. She's already on the pay line of the Grand National Board. She's getting ready to get some real Benjamins flowing in her bank account. And those are real simple things that you can do. And they're fun. The guys, they really are. They're fun things to do. It's a whole lot more fun to talk about things like that than to talk about why you came up short this month because you had to pay the electric bill and you had to put the minimum payment on the credit card. I don't like talking about things like that. Nobody else does either.
Exactly. Any closing words?
Yeah, I think I'm going to write down what just went on. Class A, number 1 first rule in teaching somebody how to do this business: answer their fears. here you got the top guy in the company on the line simply by doing what we should be doing every time with everybody we deal with. And if we can teach people that, look how easy it is.
That's right.
It truly is. You know, I never played sports growing up. I make a joke all the time. You know, there's some football contest going on because I don't understand sports. I never played it, no baseball or anything like that. Again, I grew up on a tobacco farm. That's what we did. But I'll tell you this: if I was going to be one of the a top NASCAR driver, guess who I'm going to go to? I'm going to Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm going to those guys. You know why? Because they're top NASCAR drivers, and that's the people that I wanted to be trained by or mentored by. I'm going to be a great football star. I'm going to go to the top football guys out there, and that's what you have to do with your people. Everybody, and I do want to close with this. Everybody has a talent. Everybody's talents are different, and you need to find out what your talent is. Susan's talent, obviously, I mean, she's great at doing technology and things like this, and teaching people, and being a kind of a soft mentor. I've kind of seen that in you already, Susan. I'm a little more hardcore. I get called arrogant a lot of times. I have a lot of people who say, well, you just think you know it all. And you say, no, it's not that I know it all. It's just that I've been doing this for long enough. And sometimes I think a lot of people, as you watch this tonight, you probably feel the same way. You just want to shake people. You just want to put your hands on both shoulders and you just want to just shake them so hard and say, would you just listen to me? Would you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because I can show you how to not have to live this way anymore. I get that way sometimes, and it's because I'm so passionate about it, because I've lived it. I've experienced it, and I've seen it, and I've felt it, and I've touched it, and I've tasted it. And guys, it is good. It is very, very good. So don't let this just be something that just slips by you, and you go, oh yeah, I remember that little video that they did 3 years ago. Yeah, I watched that thing. I never did anything about it. And you're still running in bumper to bumper traffic, doing what you hate to do every single day. Get passionate about it. Get real about it, and get real with people. Be honest with people as you're talking to them.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. You have to believe in yourself first. You got to believe in yourself and believe in your team. And I do a lot of Skype calls, 3-ways, and several calls to where the people, my business associates that come in that are kind of new to the business, after you hear it long enough, you start duplicating on what your leaders say. So I definitely hear your passion.
Well, thank you. I hope I got the message across.
You got it. See, I'm a country girl from Nebraska, so I hear what you're saying. I grew up on a farm. You got to learn to talk. You got to, just get out there. You got to learn to talk.
We had some great time. It was a great life coming up. I wouldn't change anything at all about it. It taught me a lot about hard work, and this does require effort.
I say it builds character,
Yeah. It's so funny you mentioned that, Ruth, because it was just today. Somebody had called me up and said, this is work. I've got to actually do something here. I said, no. I said, let me tell you about work. I said, work is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and running the long roads priming tobacco. I've done that. Okay, that's work. This is just a little bit of effort. I've never sweated doing this, never broken a bone, never filed a workers' comp claim, never had to wake up early to do it. I mean, this just requires some effort. Okay, work is something else altogether.
Oh yeah, I know that too. I used to get up at 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. We had cattle and sheep and lambs coming, triplets coming, and we learned how to work out in the snow in Nebraska, little community, 630 people. You learn how to work.
Could you imagine? You guys would all appreciate this with our demographic and age group. Could you imagine if you knew and understood this and could comprehend it at age, say, 21, where you'd be at right now? I mean, can you imagine? Oh my gosh!
I can't.
I want to go to college campuses sometime and just say, guys, you've got to listen to me. Whatever they're teaching you here, forget it. I got something better.
Right, exactly. It's a lot easier.
Yep.
I understand they're actually teaching network marketing in some schools now.
They actually are. Actually, about maybe 3 years ago, I think it was, a course actually developed in Harvard University. Harvard University, teaching on network marketing. I think it just became a point where it just couldn't be denied anymore. In fact, there's been several wealthy people. Robert Kiyosaki, Warren Buffett. I mean, Warren Buffett, one of the richest guys in the world, owns a network marketing company. So that right there just tells you that's proof that there's money in the industry. It's just, are you willing to go get your piece of it, you know?
Yes, exactly. I homeschool my 17-year-old son. We're doing grade 12 this year, and for the last 2 years, most of our focus has been on leadership, goal making, and how to start a business.
I so applaud you for that. I've got some great friends of mine who actually homeschool their kids too. And again, guys, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not knocking anybody that does, public education. I'm a product of public education, but I don't understand why people put their people or their kids on a government-subsidized school bus, send them to a government-subsidized institution to be taught how to do what everybody else is doing for the next 35, 40, 50 years and retire on 60% of what is already keeping them broke. I don't understand that. But again, I understand that there are people that you got to do it because you got the job. You got the job going on. You can't stay at home and homeschool your kids. But find you something that will allow you to be able to get to that place.
Yeah, it's kind of you can't change it all, the whole bucket at once. You just have to change a piece of it.
Right. Yeah. And you hit on something else. I think that's a lot of it too. I think how do you eat an elephant? You eat him one bite at a time. We've all heard that before. I think some people, when they see this industry, this company, our compensation plan, whatever, it almost becomes overwhelming. I think some people look at this and they go, well, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be able to achieve what I can't do all that in one night. You don't have to do it all in one night. Just work on it gradually, start to build you a team. The great thing about Ray Cycler and this company is it truly can allow you in a very short time frame to be able to get to that place where you could. I'll give you a great example. I've actually got a good friend of mine. I think it was 2 days ago. She was working 2 jobs. She actually quit her second job because she no longer needs it because Ray Cycler has now surpassed, get this guys, the income that she was making on that job. So she's actually decided, okay, I can make more money working with Ray Cycler than I was making working 40, 45 hours a week on the second job. And so now she's working on getting rid of the other job. And then, of course, she'll be in financial freedom. It's just a matter of just starting with small little baby steps and getting that process moving and getting it started for the most part.
Exactly. So start from where you are and take one step at a time. Perfect. In closing, I would like to say to everybody watching, if you want to know details about Ray Cycler, the compensation plan, how it works, get in touch with who invited you to watch this. What you've heard in this conversation and these valuable golden nuggets here is more important than all the intricacies, as Kent said, of how it works. We just know that it does work. And we are here to help you and build relationships. That's our whole topic. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Kent, for joining me. Yay!
Thank you, Susan, for putting this together. I really mean that sincerely. Thank you so much for doing this. This will help not only your team, but a lot of other people, once you put a recording in.
I agree.
It will. Thank you so much for being the leader that you are.
And Charles, thank you also for joining. This is your first hangout as well.
Yes, it is.
And thank you for the last few weeks for everything, all our conversations and where we're going to go from here.
We're just getting started.
I very much appreciate it.
You need to latch on to that guy Charles there, Susan.
I know. I already have.
I wish I would have sponsored him.
And Ruth, I'm really glad that you jumped on because I may not have run into you. So we are now connected. So you'll be hearing from me as well.
That's wonderful, Susan. Thank you for inviting me. Kent and Susan and Charles, nice to meet you, sir.
Very nice to meet you.
I'm going to hit.
Sounds good.
You guys can stay on the panel. I'm going to hit stop broadcast and say goodbye to the audience. We'll be back.
Bye, everybody. We'll do some more of this. I'm actually going to jump off for a second, Susan, because I've got some text that I've got to get back to, and I've got a conference call at 9 o'clock to do.
Okay.
So
I need to eat some dinner while